10.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another BG Bio. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Caleb, or Duban, as I'm known in the Discord server, and I'll be your host this evening. We're joined by yet another of our mid-bosses this evening for part of our Mid-Boss Mayhem subseries. We love for these to be dynamic, so if you have any questions to add to my interview, drop them in the chat, and I will probably be more than happy to ask, provided I can keep up with it. So without further ado, let's get started. The chat is already excited about this look, the reveal. It's moving faster than I can read it already. I had a similar reaction not moments ago, so I'm with you, chat. So let's start off with the easy stuff. What is your name and what are your pronouns?
My name is Hector, and today I will go by she, they.
Perfect.
Most days, though, it's he, they.
Sounds good. What will you be playing on stream this evening?
Tonight we'll be running around in Rogue Heroes.
Excellent. Yet another game I haven't seen, but I hear that you know it well, so I'm excited to see you show some of it off. All right. In the tradition that we have now established for this show, we're going to start off with some rapid fire questions. So I'll have 3 sets of these with a moment to breathe in between each one. So answer as quickly as you can, and let's see how many people we can get to leave the chat. Are you ready, Hector? All right. What's the best style of glass to drink a beverage from?
A wine cup?
Great choice. What's your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Ooh, I have too much. That's how you know you have a problem. We'll go for Bacardi rum.
Perfect. Cake or pie?
Cake, always.
Wrong choice. What's your favorite meal?
Right choice. I love dinner.
Okay. What's your favorite pizza topping?
Oh, God. Definitely not H&P. That is an abomination. But we'll go for meat lovers.
That's an excellent decision. What's the worst condiment?
Mustard. That's just nasty.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
How do you take your coffee?
Normally I like it strong. Coffee, obviously. God, why can't I even remember my own order? Cream, 7 Splenda, and hazelnut shot.
That is delightfully specific. All right, that's the end of the first set, so you get a moment to breathe. Probably the hardest and most controversial one. So...
And my butterfly fell.
Chris said, "How do you like your coffee?" With my oxygen. Same though.
Vibe.
All right, so take a deep breath and we will launch into our next set. Who's the best animated character of all time?
Oh shit. Katara.
Good choice. Who's the all-around best performer of any type you've ever seen live?
Caleb. I would say when we went to the Dragon Drive show last year, Cameron Michaels.
That's a great choice. What's the worst video game you've ever spent time playing?
Fuck. I can't even remember.
I mean, if it's so bad you've forgotten it, that's great. We can submit this question as a blank if you want.
Honestly, at the beginning, it was Cyberpunk, given all of the kerfuffle that ended up happening.
I like that answer. I think it's relevant and it's good. What's the cutest animal?
A cat.
That's
Changed my mind.
Chat will try, I'm sure. What's your favorite season?
Summer. Everyone knows this. Summer, always. Fuck the winter.
What's the most annoying kind of bug?
A mosquito.
All right, that's the end of the second set. I might have made some of those too difficult. I remember back when I started this, there was like a refinement process to figuring out what good rapid fire questions were, and I think sometimes I still forget it. I used to be like, if you were a cocktail, what would be in the cocktail? And it's like, how's anybody gonna answer that quickly?
I can't even answer that myself.
I need like half an hour to think.
Right?
Anyway, all right, take a deep breath and we'll launch into our last set here, and then we'll be free of this. All right. What's the best color for a car?
Black.
Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Best color to paint a bedroom?
Fuck. I like sleep and I want to go for black for aesthetic purposes and sleep, but white.
Okay. What's the best style of hat to wear?
I like fitteds.
Okay, good choice. What's the most important piece of furniture in your home?
At the moment, it's my computer chair.
I think that's an excellent choice. What's the best nature getaway destination? Beach, forest, mountains, or desert? What do you like?
The beach.
Okay, good choice. All right, that's all the rapid fire questions. So you made it through.
Baby.
If the viewer count went down, we did it right. No, I'm sure everyone is going to stick with us. It's a delightful round. Okay, so now to get into something just a bit deeper, let's talk a little bit about your background. So where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
I was born and raised in Lawrence, this state, of course. Not the best place. Got a pretty bad reputation. But we got this out of it.
Did you grow up there as well? Most of your life?
Oh, yeah.
All your life?
Most of my life.
Gotcha. Who all was in your household growing up?
For the earlier part of my life, it was just me and my mom. And right up until I turned about 5 or so, my father came into the picture. And then I was blessed with a little sister.
Gotcha. So just one sister, one sibling? What's your family like? How would you describe them to us who do not know them mostly?
Dysfunctional. Dysfunctional. What sort of family is ever functional anymore?
Indeed. What's your sister like? Do you get along well?
Oh God, that's my homie. That is my homie, and despite our times where we just go at each other because we're practically similar, fuck, I'm gonna die. We get along amazingly.
Gotcha. Perfect. Are you protective of her since she's your little sister?
Oh hell yeah. Oh yeah. But I've had to let the reins go on that one because she's just like, you can't be protective of me anymore.
I can imagine that conversation. So where did you go to elementary, middle, high school? All in Lawrence? What kinds of schools? Big, small?
All in Lawrence. I unfortunately moved around often, so I didn't really have too much of a stable school in terms of elementary, but that's neither here nor there. My high school was outside of the city, and it was okay.
Gotcha. Did you enjoy your time while you were in school, or was it something of a chore for you?
Who the hell liked school? I mean,
there are nerds in the world like me.
There's some people are going to say it was amazing. I loved it. I, on the other hand, hated it.
That's reasonable. I think lots of people exist in that space. What sort of extracurriculars did you get into? Was there anything you did, or did you spend your free time just away from anything related to school?
Right about my sophomore, junior year, I think I did dance actually.
Gotcha. What kind of dance?
We did varying amounts. Mainly, we did hip hop.
Gotcha. Cool. Is that something you ever continued after high school, or was it just something you had fun with then? It's
It was
fine. I mean,
fun then. I mean,
sure.
I would had like stop. Fuck. I would have wanted to continue doing it after, but like,
Fair enough. So what came after high school for you? What did you do next?
after that, it was. Oh, I can't even. I think I just spent most of my time working in between jobs,
Gotcha.
trying to find my way.
What kind of job did you start out at? What were the first ones?
I worked at Old Navy. Bad experiences.
Oh,
Bad experiences. Fuck retail. And then I also did sales, which also fuck sales.
yeah.
It's the worst. I don't recommend it ever.
Gotcha. What are you doing work-wise these days?
These days, I work as a claims representative for a mental health, well, not a mental health facility, but our part of the company deals with billing for insurance companies.
Gotcha. Is that something you enjoy?
Oh, yeah. I don't talk to anyone.
That's fantastic. Chris says in the chat, actually, about the other things, talking to people every day, don't recommend.
Who likes to do it?
There are people, again.
I know. I'm just shitting on them just out of love. Just out of don't cancel me.
No cancellations. No need. So what are the next steps for you, do you think? Do you have a dream job, or what you're doing right now the dream job, or not something you think about very much? What's the plan?
I'm a little bit of a lazy ham. So at the moment I'm not really thinking about much, but I mean for now it's a great job. I get to work from home, thankfully. And as stressful as it can be sometimes, I do enjoy it.
Sure. That's good. That I think sometimes the best answer to that, or the answer that makes me the happiest, is I like what I do. Right? I can't be happier than if someone is happy.
And you don't talk to anyone, girl.
Sounds like that is key in being happy in a job for you.
Anytime.
All right. So we can pivot a bit and talk just a little bit about identity. So, what would you say are some of the most important parts of your identity to you?
This is a hard one.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like, it's a loaded question, but I actually gotta stop for now. Hector.x has crashed. I'd say art. Art mainly. Art is a vibe.
Sure.
I can't really think of much besides that.
Sure.
Like, I don't know, man.
No, I think that's great. How do you think art shapes your identity? Like, how does that come into things for you?
I mean, we wouldn't have gotten this beauty tonight.
Yeah, indeed.
But besides that, it mainly is just almost everything in life now has some sort of, I guess, direction where I could just look at things and just look at people and try to see beauty in them in the way that most people in contemporary art do. I can't really say anything else.
No, I think that's great. So you're saying it informs the way that you look at things and the way that you look for beauty. I think that's wonderful. I can see how that would be a big part of someone's identity and the way that you see the world. Um, so I like to ask a little bit about some LGBTQ identity pieces since we do this for the Gamers, which is an LGBTQ server. So
It
just
is?
a, oh, did you enter the wrong room? Whoops, gotta go. So, for you, related to your LGBTQ identity pieces, did you have a formal coming out or coming outs, or was that how did that look for you personally?
It was rough for me. I never really identified as being gay most of my life. I unfortunately went through the bullying in school and being called queer and not ever identifying with it up until I'd say junior year of high school. That's where I was just like, okay, let me experiment. I don't know what caused that to ever happen. And after once I discovered who I was, it was a little bit rough just because who finds it easy to have any sort of self acceptance when you're raised Christian?
Sure.
And that was a battle in itself for me. Just coming to terms with it fully after it was just a fight with the rest of my mom's family just because Christian.
Sure.
I don't hate Christians, for the record. I'm just like, when it comes down to most Christians, though, that are of the extremities, I'm just like, girl, no.
Sure.
But yeah, it was it was rocky, but now I'm in such a better place that I could just love me.
That's wonderful. I certainly think that experience of Christians is something that lots of LGBT folks empathize with and have experienced similar things. So I appreciate you sharing that. Um, did coming out impact your relationships with so you talked a bit about your mom's family. Did it impact your relationship with your sister or with any of your friends, or was that easier going?
My sister was just like, "Oh, bitch, I've been new. It's okay, I love you." And it was funny because we were just laying in bed, and I was just like, "So, I gotta tell you something. I'm gay." And she was just like, "I've been new." Um, which was just like the first step into me accepting it fully. And once my mom caught wind of it, it was literally just a problem between the two of us to where I just moved out.
Gotcha.
Most friends in school, though, were just like, you, you gay? Who you lying to? And it's just because I presented very masculine back in the
Gotcha.
day. So it was difficult for them to be like, no. But over time, they were just like, he is, just because I would go on a rampage about boys.
Sure. Tis kind of the defining feature. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So sorry, I managed to lose my train of thought. My apologies. So have you found it easy or difficult usually in your life to find community and to get along with groups of other people? Has that been easy or difficult in the past?
It's been difficult. I unfortunately never had many queer friends. I mean, I have one who I made in high school, and to this day, me and him are inseparable. Um, but yeah, no, it was a little bit rough.
Sure. What do you think has made that difficult? I mean, I think it's difficult for almost everyone to find community, so I'm not sure that you're alone there. But what made it difficult for you specifically?
I think for myself, what made it difficult was my hair is getting in my mouth. I way back when, I say this as I'm like a 40-year-old, even though I'm not. But I don't know. It was just like I never felt that connection with most queer folk back then, and it was difficult for me to. But I think it just attributes just to me being super shy
Sure.
and just having it difficult just to come out of my shell sometimes.
Sure. A difficulty that lots of people share. I did want to say I missed the right moment to bring this up from the chat, but Butter was kind enough to point out that when I said what was your coming out like, you were going through a hall full of moving spikes, which was an amusing analogy, perhaps. Anyway, so speaking of community, we can pivot to talking a little bit about the Boston Gaymers, if that's all right.
Let's go.
How long have you been part of BG? Do you know?
I mean, I know I can check, but let's see if I can wing it. Like 2 years.
Somewhere thereabouts. I think the date I looked up, since I have since admitted that I usually do intel before I ask this question, was sometime in 2018. So I think it might be coming up on 3 years sometime soon.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, I did check, Kara. I did check. I promise. Do you know how long you've been a mid boss now?
Damn. Probably less than 7 months.
Yeah, I think it's thereabouts. It's like somewhere between 5 and 7. I'm not sure where in there it falls, but perfect. So what about BG makes it a home for you? Makes it a place you want to come to?
It makes it a home just because I would say through the group itself, I've been able to just grow more as a person and probably just start coming out of my shell much more easily, to where it's just like I'm not so shy anymore. Even though I have moments where I'm just like, I don't want to talk to no one, but do we really want to talk to anyone all the time?
Sure. No one wants to talk to everyone all the time, right?
Exactly. But I think also what's made it home for me is just all the people that are around. It feels like one big, giant, dysfunctional family.
I think that's a great descriptor. think that's wonderful. What made you want to be involved in the leadership of BG?
I crashed again. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to bring some sort of change myself. Granted, the way that things were obviously going have been wonderful so far, especially just us having more female inclusion, or feminine inclusion rather.
Sure.
It's, I don't know. I felt like there was something that I could bring to the table in terms of changing stuff around too.
Sure.
And slowly we are getting there.
Sure. That leads very well into my next question, which is I like to ask members of leadership that I have on the show, what are some major goals you have for BG's development? Is there anything you want to see happen? Anything you're working for?
Oh, God, yes. Hopefully, once Ms. Covitina is done, we could get back to doing outings and actually doing things such as activities all over again. I miss doing it.
Sure.
It was so much fucking fun.
Yeah, indeed. I know I look forward to seeing all the new faces who have become, friends on the internet that we will now get to see in person once once the pandemic is kind enough to leave us behind.
Right.
So yeah, totally agree. I'm going to make just a little bit of a segue to talk about something specifically of your experience in BG and how that might impact other things. But I do believe, if I'm not much mistaken, that you are the 2-year reigning champion of the BG Halloween costume contest. Is that correct? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those have been some fantastic drag looks both times, right? Perfect.
With a lot of money. That's neither here nor there. But
well, as long as you weren't paying off the judges, then the money is well spent, right? No risk of that, I'm sure. So can you tell me a little bit about your drag in general, overall? When did that start?
Ooh. So for me, I always enjoyed makeup. Just the fact that you could alter your look into any way that you want. But I never really went for it just because, again, stereotypically hypermasculine and just learning about myself. But literally, I had taken a move down to Florida and met some friends that just started introducing makeup more often to me. Even though I already knew about it, it was just like, I really enjoy it. How could I didn't know how I was even going to take it to the next level. Up until I moved back from Florida, joined the group, met a couple of people, met one individual by particular, Oni, and literally was just like, I'm just gonna start exploring drag and see how it goes, and here we are.
Here we are in this gorgeous look.
But my style itself, I would say, is the opposite as to what I present to the world as being masculine. I don't know. There's something about just being able to appear feminine. To me, that's just like, oh, okay, oh, she pretty. And then I'll just smile and just be like, hi, how's it going?
That's wonderful. As a quick side note, just so it doesn't escape me in chat, Magic Mike does say, I'm coming back for my crown. So you can consider that a threat.
No, baby. You can catch these hands. It's not going to happen.
I love the rivalry. I love it. The friendly rivalry as part of our dysfunctional family. So I actually think you touched a bit on this already, but I did want to ask specifically, do you have anything that you feel like are special features of your specific drag looks?
Fuck. I would say maybe my lips and my cheeks help add into appearing more feminine. Because, I mean, my pictures will literally sell the fantasy that I'm a man. But once I shaved my face, I just look like a cherub.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Great. So before we wrap up, I like to talk a little bit about entertainment and how my guests spend their free time. So we can start off with the easiest part. What have you been watching recently? What's on the TV?
A whole lot of anime, a whole lot of K-drama, a whole lot of Spanish shows.
What are some of the cream of the crop in each category?
As far as anime goes, I highly recommend Dr. Stone.
Okay.
Very good. For a K-drama, I can't remember rather the name of it. It had to do about living in an apartment complex and the end of the world ends up happening. Can't remember the name of it though. And Spanish show, it's a new one called Who Killed Sarah. So good.
Is it a mystery or is the title kind of leading you into something else?
It's leading you to something else.
Gotcha.
It's so good.
What makes great TV for you? What has to be there for it to be wonderful?
I like some action. Probably some mystery.
Sure.
Some mystery needs to be involved. I like to not be able to tell when things are happening too. Just because TV nowadays just really feels like it follows the same recipe constantly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I'd say about that.
Sure. That makes good sense. Is there anything, do you have like an all-time great, like a holy grail of TV or a couple that are like some of the best you've seen?
WandaVision.
Ooh.
WandaVision, hands down. Nobody can change my mind. That show literally felt like, I don't know, like it was life-changing almost. Just because it was so difficult. I don't know, a lot of us within the group itself just constantly talked about it.
Sure.
The entire weekend. And just the entire sense of mystery and confusion that the production team just led you on through was just fucking insane. And I can't help but recommend that show so much.
Sure. It did I haven't seen it and I don't know much about it and obviously don't want to spoil anything for those who are going to watch it, but you talked about being sort of formula breaking being one of the things you like. That is something that WandaVision has been very popular for, if I understand correctly, right? Is sort of breaking the formula. Good.
it just throws you in through such a big loop that you're just like, oh no, this is gonna happen. This is definitely happening. And then it's just like next episode happens and it's just like, you thought it. You thought it. You thought it all wrong, Mary. And just that alone was so freaking good.
I've been surprised by the sheer number of memes that have entered my consciousness that are all from WandaVision, even not having seen it, just being around so many people who have. It is on my to watch list. So.
I really recommend you sit your ass down tomorrow and watch it.
I don't have big plans tomorrow. It might happen. Are you much of a movie person? Or less so on that?
Less so. I can't really find much movies worth the watch anymore. The last one that I've seen was Justice League, and I was just like, I'm done.
Gotcha. Are there any older movies that you're fond of then?
Older. I don't know. I can't really remember. I have so many favorites from the past that I can't even say. This is the one. It's
sure
hard.
Sure. No, picking favorites is always a difficulty. As soon as you think you have it, then you think of another one, and it eclipses the first. I think. Sure. So I'll move on to another question, and this one might be a little bit bigger, but I think it will bring some excitement. So I understand that music plays a pretty significant role in your life. What kinds of music do you enjoy the most?
Let's see. K-pop, J-pop, R&B, hip-hop, Spanish, predominantly salsa, bachata, merengue. I listen to so much dance, EDM, Christ, what else? Just so much, and I could recommend so many DJs. I could recommend so many K-pop, J-pop groups. That is just.
Do you have a set of favorites in any of those things, or anyone that you really think, like, if someone is starting in a genre or starting to explore music, they really should grab it?
So for getting started with something like K-pop, I would say Twice. Definitely Chungha also. With dance, EDM, that one is hard just because I have so many favorites, and I'll just have to compile a Spotify favorite and just plop that bitch down one day and just be like, there y'all go. I really recommend it. Spanish, it's changing, but I really vibe with Carol G right now. And Caliuchis, they are both really great.
Gotcha. So I actually had Pie Maker ask in the chat around the same time about J-pop groups, which I think you talked K-pop groups, but not J-pop groups in that, right? Or did I? I hope I didn't miss it.
No, I didn't. Perfume.
Perfume? Okay. There's your recommendation, Pie Maker. Perfect. And we'll look forward to that Spotify playlist cropping up sometime. Just waiting for it. I'll throw that on play and find out what you're listening to. So since this is a gaming server, I would be remiss to not discussing video games a little bit. So tell me, what have you been playing?
Besides this, let's see. Bravely Default 2 is getting a lot of my attention. Final Fantasy 14. Fantasy Star 2. And I've just been rinsing and repeating those.
Sure. What's Bravely Default about? I think I've heard the name, but I don't actually know.
It's a really cute little styled game. Based off of the previous iterations of Final Fantasy. With the 4 crystals of light. And you basically are just roaming to save the world and gather the crystals. He's so good.
Gotcha. What are some of the all-time greats of video gaming for you? What are some of your favorites?
I don't know. To be honest, though, I missed your question.
Oh, sure. What are some of the all-time greats for video games for you? What are some of your favorites? Do you have some that just you keep coming back to, or some that you remember so fondly over and over again?
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, hands down, is one of the best. I'd say also Nier. Oh shit. Nier is really great. Highly recommend that game. What else? I do recommend Final Fantasy for anyone looking to start off. Damn it. And MMO, it's simple. It's a little bit difficult and tedious at first, but then things pick up for sure.
Sure. That's great. I know Breath of the Wild caught lots and lots of people for lots of different reasons. What did you love about Breath of the Wild? What made it great for you?
The sense of adventure, just being able to just finally do shit like climbing walls and just exploring all of Hyrule. I was just like, this is so good. And just even the new sense of discovery was just
Wonderful. That certainly is at the top of the list for lots of folks who played the game. Did you spend just hours just running around and seeing what you could find? Was that the hitch, or
way too much? And I put off the story for so long that when I finally got to the story, it was literally like months after its release, and I was just like, why didn't I do this sooner? What was I doing? And I was just like, oh, right, I was running around everywhere.
It's easy to do in a game like that. What do you think are some of the most important things in video game design? Like, what are your favorites? So the sense of wonder and adventure must be a huge one.
Oh, God, yes.
But is there anything else that you're like, oh, this thing has to happen to make it wonderful?
A really good storyline. She hates a bad story. Oh. But besides that, just I don't know.
I think those are great elements.
Just a shitty story is just gonna be like, I hate this game. Like, why did I even spend my fucking money on?
Sure, that can definitely definitely spoil things.
But probably also, I I'm a sucker for crafting, and anytime a game has crafting in it, time, I don't know her.
Just get lost in the crafting system.
If I could break the game via crafting, that's it. It's a wrap. I'm done. Fuck all y'all hoes.
Wonderful. With that, we will go ahead, and I think we're at the end of what I had for today, so we can go ahead and wrap it up. So I will start with my litany of thank yous, and my first and most important thank you goes to you, Hector. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I've laughed a whole lot during this PG bio, so I got to spend a lot of it with a smile on my face, and I appreciate that.
My job.
I also want to say my next thank you goes out to Zach/Headnisk, who runs tech for this, which makes it just a whole lot easier for me to focus on the show when I know that the technology side of things is taken care of without me. And then my next thank you goes out to Oni, who edits every one of the scripts that I write. I deeply appreciate their help, because I always say if I can write an 8 or a 9 as a script, Oni can make it a 10. And I just deeply appreciate that. Big thank you to all the mods and planners who let me pitch this idea forever ago now and start running with it, because it has been a pleasure every time that I've done it, and I've just enjoyed it so much. And thank you, last but not least, to chat for coming out here and being active. It was yet another night where the chat moved so quickly I could not read it while I was focusing on the conversation. So if I missed your comment or your question, I promise I love you deeply, and I just didn't see it because I'm bad at multitasking. So if I'm listening to someone, I can't quite read well at the same time. And that is just the unfortunate nature of being me. But thank you so much for coming out. So before we go, did you have any last words you wanted to offer to our audience, Hector?
Love yourself, bish. Literally, that's it. Just love yourself. Especially in these times.
Absolutely. There's no better sign off than that. So with that, have a great night. Drive safe. Take care. Bye.